Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Big Four podcast. Let's get right into things with the Urban Meyer controversy. When I made this slide, the findings of the investigation had not come out yet, and the punishment for Urban Meyer had not come out yet, but he has now been suspended for the first 3 games of the regular season. What is your reactions? Your reaction to the 3-game suspension Urban Meyer just got?
Well, I'm not surprised at all because, Ohio State, a dirty university, is obviously going to try and skate out of having Meyer fired.
It's ridiculous.
He should be fired, but, they're going to suspend him for the first 3 games. I was actually a little surprised that they only suspend him for 2 games to avoid having him miss TCU because they got their 2 cupcake games at the beginning of the season with Oregon State and Rutgers. So I was a little surprised by that, but he should have been fired, and of course Ohio State found a way to skate out of it.
Wow. I thought it was very, very low. I thought they were going to at least go for 6 or 7, maybe even fired. That was I think the max they could have done. The 3 games was, they want to win. They don't care what it takes, in my opinion. So they'll go, it's like the bare minimum for the NCAA, and then it looks great because they suspended them, but 3 games does nothing, especially at the beginning of the year.
Okay.
Of course, the Michigan guy, of course, want him fired because he's won 6 straight against them. That's why I don't care if he was a great guy. I wouldn't care. First of all, I think he deserves to be suspended in the first place. Oh, really? Move. It's a genius move. You make them look like actually do something, then you suspend him for the first 3 games, so almost on the table and beat TCU. It looks better because we didn't have our coach. But then even if we lose, it looks good because we didn't have our coach. So how could you expect us to win on the road?
I haven't thought about that, actually. That's pretty smart.
The Ohio State Board of Trustees knew exactly what they were doing.
Yes, not biased at all.
Well, I mean, Urban Meyer is the 3rd greatest coach in school history. He's already got a national championship. He's lost 8 games in 6 years or whatever. And to my knowledge, I didn't think you had to be fired if you were a bad guy. Everybody knows Urban Meyer's a bad guy. He's a terrible person, but that doesn't make him a bad football coach. I mean,
It's an unbelievable statement. Urban Meyer's not the guy who had a guy on staff who went for another school and killed somebody.
yeah. We all know Urban Meyer's like a warden at a jail. He'll take anybody in. And he'll just keep them in line. That's what he does. And then once they leave, he just says, "Go do whatever you want." But listen, I thought it should have been 2 games. I think 3 games is a little harsh. I mean, if he did the right protocol, and if he said what he said was right, send it up to the upper management, and the upper management didn't do anything with him, then fine. But 2 games should have been the punishment. 3 is a little bit too much.
Urban Meyer said he told Gene Smith, and Gene Smith said he nothing. And Gene Smith apparently did nothing about it. He just threw AB right on the spot. If I'm Gene Smith, when I get back from my suspension, Urban Meyer is gone. Unbelievable.
Again, yeah. If this was Rutgers, of course he would have been fired. If this was any other coach, he would have been fired. But because he's been so successful at Ohio State, they didn't want to fire him, and they were never going to fire him, even if they found that he murdered somebody. They weren't going to fire him. Doesn't matter.
Michigan would have fired Harbaugh.
No, well, listen.
They run a clean ship.
Do we have to talk about the DJ Durkin situation? Go ahead.
Go ahead. Talk about it.
All right.
Go right into it.
Harbaugh.
He's at Maryland. He's not at Michigan.
Nope. Harbaugh employed a terrible person as his he could have chosen anybody to be his defensive coordinator. He chose a coach who abuses his players. Harbaugh had a coach. No, Harbaugh had a player come out and say that he was a bad person. He was a terrible human being. Not just.
Oh, I'm sorry. If any Michigan player said that and they had actual evidence, he would be fired because Michigan runs a clean sheet.
You cannot tell me. No, you cannot tell me that Durkin started doing this at Maryland. You can't tell me that. You cannot tell me that. That's ridiculous.
Michigan State coach is such a grump. I mean, he's terrible.
Right.
Who doesn't think Jim Harbaugh should be fired? Me. I don't think he should be fired. Even though he employed someone who ended up being a murderer, I think he should still have a job.
That's a good point.
He's at Maryland. How is Jim Harbaugh connected
No,
to this
Chris,
guy?
you cannot tell me that Durkin went to Maryland and then suddenly became a jerk. He was a great person at Michigan.
He was a jerk. Urban Meyer is. He was not a guy on the field like he did at Maryland.
Well, I'm sure he was doing some similar stuff. There's no way.
Well,
there is no way.
At Michigan. He didn't run practices at Michigan.
He was part of them. He's a defensive coordinator. He did something.
Yeah, well, Harbaugh ran practices.
Yeah, and Harbaugh's a terrible human being.
The DJ Turkson. No, Harbaugh's a murdering guy. He's a great guy. Just terrible violence. Everybody owning his life. Good guy. Terrible coach. Good guy.
Okay.
Anyways,
yes. Any more comments on this Urban Meyer debacle or whatever you want to call it?
we weren't even going to talk about this. The thing came out like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, I mean, who knows what's going to happen later on. Okay, let's move on to the AP Top 25. As you can see, the top 10, Alabama, Clemson, Georgia. Wisconsin got one first-place vote, which I thought was interesting. I think they should have got a lot more than that. Ohio State, yeah.
I can hear you laughing. You're not even serious.
Washington, Oklahoma, Miami, Auburn, Penn State, top 10. Michigan State's number 11. That'll motivate Mark D'Antonio. He'll use that number 11 ranking to get his team ready to play next Friday against Utah State.
Tough team. Great team.
Tough Utah State team that made a bowl game last year. Notre Dame made a bowl game out of the tough Mountain West Conference, which might actually be better than the Pac-12. I mean, let's be honest.
I might agree with that, yeah.
Anyway.
Stanford, Michigan, USC, Texas Christian, West Virginia, Miss State, FSU, Virginia Tech, UCF, Boise, Texas, Oregon, LSU. Any big reactions on this?
Yeah, explain this to me. Explain this. How all the experts take Ohio State to win the Big Ten. Every single comes out. Actually, ahead of them. They're not an expert from Athlon Sports that takes Michigan to go 11-1 and win the Big Ten. So we have to point out the fact that you were just saying how Athlon Sports is untrustworthy. I didn't say that. Mike said that. I did not say that. So you say when it goes to your advantage, and when it's against you, you say how it's supposed to be. No, I'll take Athlon Sports every day. They're great. That's a cool. Let me go find their rankings when they put Michigan fifth in the conference.
If Barstool Sports said Michigan was winning the national championship, you'd take that.
They rank Michigan fifth in the country. They're great.
If Barstool U of M said Michigan's going to win the national championship, he'd send it everywhere.
Yeah, with a credit. He'd be like, this is fully credited.
Yeah, I know. Barstool's really known for their reporting. I remember when they said Tom Izzo was going to be fired. I remember that. Everybody was saying how Barstool Sports knows everything. They don't. Athlon Sports doesn't know anything either. Anyways, I thought.
I have a problem with some of these rankings.
Yeah.
These are, especially not even towards the top. I don't care about the top. All these overrated teams that come in and go 500, like USC, LSU, Texas. Texas hasn't been good in like 5 years.
I'm shocked Tennessee isn't in here.
Texas sucks.
I know.
Tennessee.
How is UCF 21? UCF won the national championship last year, and they're going to disrespect us putting them at 21.
If their coach hadn't left, I think they would have been top 5.
Yeah, UCF. It's very disrespectful putting UCF at 21. That means they're a 21 times worse team than last year, if they put them at 21.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I have major problems with these rankings. Not necessarily with Michigan. I thought that was a fair spot. They could have been a couple spots higher. And I get that Michigan State, Ohio State, and Wisconsin are higher than them. I don't get why Penn State's higher than them. I also don't see why USC
Because
is
they
so
beat
high.
Michigan 42-13. That's
I
why.
don't care. They lost a lot of guys.
Your great defense that sucks in big games.
I don't get why Notre Dame is so high. They're extremely overrated.
Okay.
Washington is extremely overrated. And Wisconsin is the most overrated team on this list. Number 4? Are you kidding me?
I don't know if that's a fair ranking. I mean,
they have a terrible schedule. They schedule cupcake games out of conference and play a cupcake schedule in conference because the West sucks. And they make it to the Big Ten championship and get slaughtered by Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan State.
I'm sorry. Have they been slaughtered in the Big Ten championship game the last 2 years?
I'm sorry.
Nope.
They lost to Ohio State last year.
They were one magical Hornibrook throw away from a national championship.
That's all I remember. Sorry. That's all I remember.
All I remember is the 28-7 comeback from Penn State a couple of years ago. If it wasn't for that, they would have won the Big Ten that year. And they could have won it last year.
They choked because they're a terrible team. Paul Chris is a choker. He's a good coach, but he's a choker.
He's a choker?
Yep, he is.
He beat Miami. That means Miami's the biggest chokers of all time if they lost to Wisconsin. I don't know how they...
In a bowl game that didn't mean anything.
They lost to a choker at home. How do you lose to a choker at home?
Didn't mean anything. That's like saying Jim Harbaugh won the Buffalo Wild Wings Bowl against Florida.
Okay. I don't know what that point was.
He's a choker. Jim Harbaugh's a choker. So is Paul Chris.
No. Well, here's the point, all right? He's getting 3-star recruits. It's hard to choke when you have 3-star recruits. I mean,
I don't care.
That is true.
I don't care.
That's like saying Vermont chokes in the tournament because they lost to Purdue. No, it's the exact same. It's the exact same.
It's not.
Yes, it is.
Well, I mean, dude, the American East is the second best conference in the league.
It's true. It's true. They beat the number 1 seed out of the ACC. Hey, I still think 4 American East teams should have made the tournament.
The problem with the AP ranking is that they don't matter until about the 5th or 6th week in the year.
And that's when the college football rankings come out, or the playoff rankings, like week 7.
Don't matter anymore.
I know.
Remember what was it, 2 years ago with Charlie Strong last year that Texas beat Notre Dame?
Yeah.
First game of the year. They were hungry. They beat them first game of the year, and they get ranked like 6th.
Then they lose to Kansas the third to last game of the year.
I remember that.
AP rankings don't mean anything.
All right, I'm gonna go 25-1 and tell you where the team should be. LSU should not be ranked. Oregon should be higher. Texas should not be ranked. Boise State, that's good for them. UCF should be top 10. No, I'm joking. They should be top 20 at least. Virginia Tech, that's fair. Florida State should not be ranked. Mississippi State is a little low. They should be like 14 to 15. West Virginia should not be ranked. Well, I don't know why everybody thinks West Virginia is great.
Dude, Will Greer's going to be...
They went 7-6 last year. Give me a break.
West Virginia will be ranked in the top 10 by the end of the year.
No. They will finish 4th in the Big 12. I bet right now. Because West Virginia chokes every single year. I remember 2 years ago, they played Oklahoma for the Big 12 championship at home, and they lost 31-0. I remember that game. It was on national TV. It was an embarrassment.
2 games 2 years ago.
What?
That sounds like the score of the MSU Oklahoma game 2 years ago.
What do you? No, the MSU Alabama game was 38-0.
Oh, is that what it was? Wait, what about the Clemson Ohio State game? Wasn't that one 31-0?
Yeah. What about the Michigan? What about the Michigan Alabama game? Oh wait, Michigan hasn't even made the playoff yet. I forgot. Oh wait, they haven't even made it to Indy yet. I mean, anyway,
Calm down.
TCU.
This isn't it.
TCU should be top 10 just based off their coach. They have the probably top 3 coach in the country. You
Did they build Gary Patterson a statue?
Gary Patterson's top 3 in the whole country.
How do you build a coach a statue? He hasn't even retired yet. I feel like building
Well, the
Meyer statue.
well, the Memphis Grizzlies retired Zach Randolph, and he's still playing. So I mean, it happens.
That's true.
Anyway.
I'm waiting for him to like retire and he can't use his own jersey uniform.
Yeah. USC.
Dude,
USC. Oh, go ahead.
They choke every single year. They're never good.
Who?
They're always old. USC.
Yeah, USC is the Michigan of the West. We all know this. We've known this for years.
And UCLA. I'm surprised they're not like number 5.
UCLA's going 1-11 this year.
No, they're going to be very good this year. Their quarterback, he's a proven winner.
Yeah, well,
everybody.
A proven
everybody
pick
there,
thrower.
Like, oh my God, it's Chip Kelly back in college football. Oh my God.
Yeah, well, Chip Kelly needs his Marcus Mariota. Maybe he'll get Jalen Hurts. Maybe he'll have a shot. Anyway.
This year,
US.
huge year for the SEC. Because Joe Burrow's transferred to LSU. So if he tears up the SEC, Jay Patterson can't do jack crap in the Big Ten. It shows you how overrated the SEC is.
Yeah, the SEC is very overrated.
Well, once you remove Alabama, who's won like 7 in the past 10 years or something like that.
Yeah.
Besides them, I mean, how many are in this top 10? Georgia's really good. Yeah, that's the other. Those 2.
All right, I'm gonna keep going down the list. Michigan.
Florida State too. They're extremely. They went 6-6 last year, and they got a new coach.
No, they got DeAndre Francois back, so they got their quarterback.
Oh, please. Give me.
He's going to be injured by the 3rd week.
They're changing systems. They're not going to have a good year this year.
No.
They're going from pro to spread. That's not going to have. They're not going to be very good this year.
I agree. Go ahead.
Okay. Michigan at 14, way too high. They should be like a 20, just based off their bowl performance last year. And to be honest with you, Jordan Tuamu outplayed Shea Patterson at Ole Miss at the end of last year. So he would have been the backup for Ole Miss coming in this year.
Oh, yeah.
Now you have a backup quarterback coming in to try and save the world. Listen, I see 8-4 or 9-3 in this team. I don't know. I don't care. I mean, Shea Patterson's going to have to be a god. All right. Stanford, that's good. Notre Dame should be like 25. Michigan State, that's fine. Penn State, that's fine. Auburn's a little high. Miami should be like 15. Oklahoma.
That's absurd.
You're serious. A team that lost to a great choker, Paul Christ, at home, is now going to suddenly be top 10.
Going to make the playoff. Miami's going to make the playoff.
Well, if Miami's going to make the playoff, then Pitt's winning the national championship. That's basically what you're saying right now. And by the way, Pitt could be in the top 25 by the end of the year. Oklahoma, that's fine. Washington, that's fine. I'm okay with the rest of the rankings. Teams that should be ranked, Kansas State should be ranked. Oklahoma State should be ranked.
Texas A&M.
No, not Texas A&M.
Yep, they should be.
Arizona should be ranked.
Yeah, what about Arizona State with Herm Edwards?
No, Arizona State's going 4-9 this year, 4-8.
What about NC State?
Just might as well have every SEC team ranked. I mean, I'm surprised Arkansas.
Will FAU be ranked by the end of the year?
No, they're gonna get slaughtered opening day.
No, I got them beating Oklahoma.
Okay. Anyway, Oklahoma State should be ranked. I got Oklahoma State winning the Big 12 this year. It's their year, finally. Anyways, Kansas. What? What?
And Fresno State.
Fresno State. I don't know. Them and Utah State are going to be battling it out, and Boise State for the crown in the Mountain West.
Cloud.
Okay.
The biggest God.
I don't have a problem with top, say, 15 besides USC up. I don't care about the bottom. That's just, there's
Yeah.
no merit to it. There's nothing to it except, like, who's the biggest school and who gets the most fans. Not.
Yeah. That's true.
When was the last time Texas was good?
If you remember last year, Texas.
You can't lose. You can't lose to Kansas and then be ranked in the next like 15 years.
So that means when Rutgers loses to Kansas, they cannot be ranked in the next 15 years.
No, I got you. You seriously not thinking Rutgers in that game?
No, I am. I'm just joking. But if they do lose, oh boy.
I would not be surprised.
Oh boy.
I wouldn't be surprised.
What's his name should be fired on the spot. Chris Ash should be fired right on the spot. He'll go back to Ohio State and replace Zach Smith.
Well, the problem is they play with half their team is second strings because half the other team's suspended for something. It's just...
Okay, so any last words on this? No? Okay.
No.
Okay, let's move on to Big Ten basketball. The schedules came out, so we'll talk a little Big Ten basketball. As you can see, this was a power rankings by a very reliable source. Michigan State is number 1 in the power rankings. Maryland is number 2. Michigan is number 3. Ohio State's number 4.
No, you're not allowed to finish. You're not allowed to finish. You tell me who made these rankings.
No, I'm not telling you.
No.
You can watch the video after. You'll see who made it.
No.
Anyways, I'll keep going.
No.
Ohio State's number 4. Indiana's number 5. Purdue's number 6. Nebraska 7. Wisconsin 8. Penn State 9. Illinois comes in at number 10. Iowa, Northwestern, Minnesota, and Rutgers at 14 for our Big Ten power rankings. How do you guys think the Big Ten will do this year?
All right, well, I'd first like to say that Michigan State, in whatever order you want to put them, have separated themselves from the field. I don't know why you have Maryland there. There's a clear tier 1, and it's Michigan State. That is absurd. I'm betting the reliable source is you.
It's not me.
Right
it's not me. It's not me.
No, that's absurd. Just absurd.
Where is it? Where'd you find that?
It's on Instagram. It's a very reliable source.
What was it, Spartan Center?
Nope, Selection Sunday updates.
Oh, God. Why did you use ESPN? Why did you not use ESPN?
Because I needed a picture that would fit in the slide.
No, he just doesn't like ESPN.
I cannot.
Yeah, I don't trust ESPN.
Maryland at number 2. That is the worst.
Listen,
thing
Maryland has a great coach. They got a little unlucky last year. They're going to have a really good team this year. But for me, I think Michigan should be number 1 in the power rankings, and Michigan State should be number 2, just based off last year. And the fact that Michigan State loses more than Michigan, even though Michigan does lose some key pieces.
The 2 best players.
Michigan State also loses their quote-unquote 2 best players. But I don't even think they lost their 2 best players. But anyways. Again, so Michigan State and Michigan are the clear top 2 teams. Maryland is a good team. Ohio State, they lost their best 2 players. It'll be interesting.
Not true. Joey Lane's coming back.
Nope. They lost Dockage. They lost their heart and soul.
Yeah. His 3 minutes a game were very solid.
Are you kidding me? More than 3 minutes. He's splashing half quarters at buzzers. He's beating Michigan by himself. Yeah, he did a good job against Gonzaga in the second round of the tournament. Yeah, he did.
Well, I mean, he got outcoached So.
Oh, no. He did not. Chris Holman's a better coach than Mark Few.
Oh my gosh.
He's a top 10 coach.
Oh my
No, he's
gosh.
not.
Mark Few is a top 3 coach in the NCAA.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is. What he's done with that program is unbelievable. A good equivalent to that is Maine baseball in the 1980s when they went to all those College World Series. That's the equivalent. That's like Maine being good at baseball is Gonzaga being good at basketball. That's the equivalent. I mean, anyways. Indiana's got the only 5-star recruit in the Big Ten, Romeo Langford.
They're horrible.
Purdue's got Carson Edwards coming back. They'll always be good. They got Matt Harms, who's nasty. Nebraska's got, what's his name, Palmer.
Yeah, he's good.
Look out for Wisconsin. They could sneak up on some people.
Still got Ethan Happ.
They got Ethan Happ back. Ethan Happ is...
For his what? Like,
For his 7th year, was back for his 7th year.
yeah, it's like 10th season there.
No, he's actually a redshirt senior. Anyway, Penn State loses Tony Carr, which is unfortunate because I'd like to see him destroy Ohio State again. That would have been funny to watch.
They're never good.
They were supposed to make the tournament last year. I don't know what happened. They just had a bad year. Anyway, Illinois got a great coach, Brad Underwood. He did such a good job at Stephen F. Austin. Got Oklahoma State to the tournament. I really do think he's going to get this Illinois program turned around and maybe get it to a national championship, just like what's his name did at Kansas State. What was that guy's name? Well, whatever his name is. That just proves how good of a coach the guy from Kansas State is. I don't even remember his name.
Oh, the football guy?
No, the basketball coach. What's his name? Anyways,
Oh, I don't know.
doesn't matter.
All right. Get into the schedule.
All right. What do you want to talk about the schedule? Go ahead, talk about it.
I want to talk about how Michigan opens up against a very difficult Division II team to start the year. Very difficult team. They also play Holy Cross. Great team.
Holy Cross.
But they do have Villanova and North Carolina on the schedule.
Dude, they'll bring Tommy Heinsohn back.
That was a good one. Anyways, so
Villanova. It's hard to go from
Michigan.
two and Holy Cross to Villanova.
Michigan once again has a cakewalk out of conference schedule.
Oh, are you kidding me? It's like Villanova, North Carolina.
So, the big deal. Michigan State's got a gauntlet out of conference schedule, highlighted by the home game against Oakland later in the season.
Oh, yeah. All right, well, that Division II team we play is a rival, too, if Oakland's a rival.
Nope.
Who's that nasty guard out of Oakland that they used to have?
Kendrick Nunn. He was
No,
nasty.
it was like Felder, wasn't it?
I don't know. I don't follow Oakland basketball. I don't know.
Well, they're your rival. You should.
No, I don't follow them. So, I mean, they are big rivals, but I mean, we play them every year. That's how big of a rival they are. And they come close every year.
That's just absurd.
Yeah, it was. It was Kay Felder. I was right. He was nasty. Averaged like 30 points a game.
And if you remember, and I'm sorry, Michigan fans, but Michigan State was invited to the Champions Classic once again, and Michigan was not. It just proves how much better of a program Michigan State is.
And once again, they lost in the second round when it actually mattered.
No, listen, this year's different. Hopefully, no. You know, the one thing.
I've heard that since.
No, the one thing all these teams had in common was Miles Bridges. All the losing teams. Now that he's gone, they're going to start doing better now.
The guy you claim to be your savior and your.
I never said anything about that. I never said that. Never said that.
You did.
He's the best.
I was critical of Miles Bridges all year long. All year long.
All year long, I didn't hear you say one criticism.
Oh my goodness, go back and watch my Izzone podcast. I was all over him early in the season.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about one before he came, like when he was coming in that freshman year.
Oh my goodness, I don't even remember that. That was so long ago. Maybe I was hyping up Jaren Jackson more. I mean,
he was way better.
Yeah, Jaren Jackson was nasty. Too bad Izzo couldn't play him in the playoff game. Ridiculous. Played a sixth-year senior transfer from UNLV over him.
Who was that guy on the radio that gets heated? I forget his name.
The guy on the radio Mike Valeni?
Yeah.
Oh, he's great.
He's like, but he can pass. That's why Jackson's on the bench. Top of the key, but he can pass.
So could you imagine any other program not having their 5-star recruit, number 3 overall pick in the draft on the floor in the second round of the NCAA tournament against Syracuse? It's ridiculous. Anyway, Michigan State highlighted by that game against Oakland, but they also have Kansas in the Champions Classic, and they play UCLA, and they play either Texas or North Carolina. They also got a tough Florida Gulf Coast team at home for the second game of the season.
That's true. They are good.
They play at Florida. And don't sleep on Tennessee Tech. They're a tough team.
They play Louisville too, don't they?
Yeah, they play Louisville in the ACC Big Ten Classic.
You can't forget that we might play Providence in that tournament we're in.
Oh, what tournament are you in?
Oh, I don't know. I think it's either some Division III team or Providence, so we'll see.
Oh, goodness.
We can play Chaminade again.
That was a joke. Absolute joke.
Doesn't play Binghamton too. Tough America East game.
Oh yeah, look out for the America East this year. They might be pulling off some upsets.
Ohio State has the hardest non-conference schedule in the nation.
Oh really? Oh really?
Not even close.
Oh, we got Toledo at home.
Cincinnati at Cincinnati.
No, Cincinnati's losing everybody. They are not going to be very good this year.
That's my favorite team. That's Creighton.
Creighton is overrated every year.
Syracuse.
Syracuse sucks.
Don't say anything about them, Mike.
No, I can talk about Syracuse's regular season. I can't talk about their tournament. They suck in the regular season. What? You gotta be kidding me. Luke, your phone is trash. Are you kidding me? This is ridiculous. Anyways, I'm going to look up Ohio State's non-conference schedule and verify this. Because last time I checked, Michigan State easily has the hardest non-conference schedule in the Big Ten. Oh, I can't even find it. Whatever. Who cares? Doesn't matter. Any last point on this?
I'll try to find it, Mike. Give me a second.
All right. Ohio.
Oh. Joe, you got a little piss there.
Oh yeah.
For Fort Wayne.
Oh, I got it. Oh, tough first game. UNC Pembroke. Never heard of that.
What?
Purdue Fort Wayne.
Oh boy, what a tough schedule.
Cleveland State.
So Luke, you could say you play North Carolina and Purdue in the non-conference schedule.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, dude, South Carolina State.
Oh, you could say you play Clemson because Clemson's basically South Carolina State. You could say you play Clemson.
Youngstown State, High Point.
What? That's like saying you play USM. That's like saying you play USM Kennebunk. What kind of scheduling does Chris Holtman do? What is he doing?
let's keep in mind these are all home games too.
Oh, he doesn't go on the road to play UNC Pembroke. I'm shocked.
Dude, it's an electric
Exhibition game. Exhibition game.
I want to see Rutgers out of conference schedule. I heard they have a tough one this year. I heard they play Seton Hall.
Really?
Oh yeah.
UNC Pembroke.
Historically. How overrated is Seton Hall?
Seton Hall's overrated every year.
Dude, UNC
Well, you think every Big East team's overrated?
The Big East is the most overrated conference in college basketball.
It's the best conference in college basketball.
That is so absurd. I can't even speak to you right now. They got one good team in the entire conference. One. And that's Marquette. They have one good team. That's Marquette.
Oh, Marquette?
They have one great team, and that's it. They got Villanova. They got nobody else. Xavier's losing everybody, including their coach. Creighton sucks. Creighton lost to Kansas State.
You can't forget about Providence.
Providence sucks. Keep going down the line. Oh, who do they got?
Marquette.
Marquette. Oh, DePaul. Don't forget about DePaul. Michigan State played a tough DePaul team last year and almost lost to them. Anyways, Michigan State. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Ohio State is going to take a huge step back this year. We know that. You know, Indiana. For me, I think Michigan State will finish with the best record in the Big Ten, but they shouldn't be number one in the power rankings right now. That's ridiculous.
Are they going to choke in the Big Ten tournament again?
You can't choke in the Big. No, the reason why they choked is because they already had a banner up. Were they going to put up a second banner?
Oh yeah. No, actually, they shouldn't even have a banner. That's like saying, it's like saying the Red Sox should have a banner for having the best record in baseball, but they're going to lose.
Well, that's how it works in college basketball. That's how it works.
Nope.
It's how it works.
Nope.
Why does Kansas had their 20-year streak broken last year? They won it, didn't they? So they have like 15 straight years. They didn't win the conference tournament any of those years. They may have won it once. They still get their banners up because they win the regular season title every year.
That's true.
Anyways, I'll take you to Breslin, Chris, and we'll look up and see if there's a banner up there. Okay. You guys have any last words on this?
Yeah.
No?
No.
Okay. That is going to be it for this episode of the Big Four Podcast. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We will see you next time.